1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 Sports, talking a whole lot more. NFL Week 14 in review, 1420 style. Frauds, favorites, F that team. We'll start swearing about that in half a second. But there was, Dave, I'm going to say the biggest fraud in football right now is probably me. I'm licking the jar like we talked about in that football pool. Nobody wants to hear about anybody's football pool. But man, oh man, I thought I had her, and then now I'm still 3 out with 4 weeks to go. 2 games happen tonight, and I'm not doing so good right now on those. But it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating, especially when you're close, right? Like it's under, like I said before, I've never won one of these things, and now I'm actually watching more, so I might be more of a detriment that I'm watching more than just doing what I was doing for the first 13 weeks.
And that's exactly what it is. Like once you get there close, especially
once you think you're smart, you're not.
Yeah, and then you gotta 2-3 games to make up to get the big pot of gold, because in that pool, like it is there's 50 people in it. Winner gets 60% of the pot. Like that's or 50% of the pot. That's it. It's obviously not life-changing money, but it's really gonna make a weekend go smooth. That's
she'll be it's $1,000, $1,000, man. I don't take that.
And just being the best out of 50 people is
bragging rights.
Cool. Yeah, and it's a 4-month thing. Like you can't. I'm so far gone. It's like I don't have a chance. But so unless it's like Sunday on a golf tournament. We're on Sunday now, and like you can see the leaders, but you got some ground to make up. And you only have a couple people to leapfrog. It's not like you gotta.
Well, that's just it. People. Like, and then because I got looking at it last night a little bit, and I was fucking mad about a couple of them. Let's not talk about a whole bunch. But then I saw how you did, and I went, motherfucker! If I would have had what Dave's score was compared to what mine was for the week, I'd be in first place in this motherfucker right now. So maybe,
but I'm 12 games behind.
Maybe we'll make a deal, and you can pick my week 14 through 18 for us, and we'll see how that goes.
I do not want that. It's not even pressure. Like fuck that. I don't want that blame. I'll take all the glory, but like I don't want to get blamed for nothing.
The get off the football pool thing. Well, yeah, it's interesting to watch the whole thing.
It's fun, and I'm rooting for you.
Yeah, I'm.
Let's not 14-20 jinx it either. So
it ain't over yet. We're not going to say he's got a thing. Every time we say 14-20, this team's going to do something. They usually end up doing really, really bad. It's just one of those deals. So let's not christen me a champion by any means yet. But yesterday, an interesting turn of events. Everybody knows that the story about the offside that was called property in my opinion, and Mahomes got all pissed off. The Travis Kelce lateral, the whole bit. The game was great. It was a decent football game with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. But the talk afterwards, Dave, was Kelce whispering, going to the handshake with Josh Allen. He was whispering in his ear, "Can you believe that fucking call?" or whatever.
That was Mahomes, not Kelce.
Mahomes. Sorry.
And it was no whisper. It was
the verbiage and everything else. So was like, you know what, dude, you lost. Like you put up 17 points against a team that hasn't been great this year, and you guys haven't been playing very well. You're only actually 1 game up on your Denver Broncos right now. Is it time for has the luster fucking kind of been taken off the shine of Patrick Mahomes the last little bit this season? It just seems like he's just kind of they're good, but they're not great, and they're 7-5 or 8-6, whatever it is. It's like, you know what? And then last night's a little hissy fit that the referees made the right call that they don't always make, but they made it last night, and there's a lot of stuff behind it. But is the luster kind of wearing off that guy a little bit?
In my mind, yes. Not so much. And I talked to a guy, someone that I work with, but he works at one of the businesses that I offer my services to, and him and I always on Monday we talk fantasy football and this kind of thing, and we touched upon it, and he was of the mindset that Well, they don't always call that, and why would they call it there? I go, but like, why is he such a pissy pants? Like, he knows he's the best. I think this tirade last night, instead of referee, say Vontez Scantling and Kadarius Toney. He's so fucking frustrated that he doesn't have a money receiver. All he has is Travis Kelce. And he has these two fucking smelts that can't catch the fucking ball, make stupid mistakes. Like that Kadarius Toney, like how well, he was only like, well, they never call that. But no one has ever said, but he wasn't offside. Well, the refs usually tell him, well, you got to, like, from what I read, you got to look towards the ref. And if you're offside, the ref will say, hey, back it off. Like, honestly, you're going to let 4 inches fuck up your game? And never mind the drop passes that Kadarius Toney always.
That's the problem you got is when your cap starts hitting your team, right? Which it is now, and his salary's gone up. All of a sudden, you have to pay a little bit less for everybody else on the field. So when you're getting paid this, they can't have this anymore. Right? It's one of those things. Like, you can't have a top line guys all over the field anymore because you're making 50 whatever million bucks a year. So whose fault is it?
And they did it, the Chiefs did it.
Right?
They won the Super Bowl last year with a lick and a promise with all those rookies on defense. And their defense is still playing quite well. It's the offense, right? I don't know what Kadarius Toney and Scantling are making, but it's all I do know is it's too much. There's rookies out there making a fucking difference that don't make these mistakes. And then maybe that's why people like Toney are available on the free agent market, because they keep doing stupid things. And that's a stupid fucking thing. Like, I get it. You're mad. I get it. The flag isn't thrown all the time. But, on the flip side of things, you got gifted. Gifted's a little strong. You got a huge fucking break last year in the Super Bowl with that holding, right? And then now you're going to bitch about a regular season game where your guy is fucking lined up offside.
It was a penalty.
It's a penalty. Like that, that one, there's so much to criticize the NFL referees this year. A ton. Every game. There's a ton to piss and moan about.
They call a lot of penalties. They do.
They get one right, and now they're assholes. Come on.
And the thing is, and I don't think the criticism is right a lot of times, because it's such a fine line between what's holding and what's not, and what's pass interference and what's not. And it goes so quick, and you get one chance to throw the flag, and you fucking go with it, right? But the thing about that is that it's like with that call yesterday, if like Bills fans are like, yeah, it was a penalty. Like, yeah, here it is. Like if it was a penalty that the Chiefs were gifted and didn't get caught, they'd be like, oh, we got away with one there, right? So when it's a call, it's a call. Like when it's so for Mahomes and even Andy Reid was bitching about, he retracted his comments pretty quickly afterwards because he was going to get fined $250 million or whatever it was going to be. But
he has to have his quarterbacks back.
Yeah, no, he does. But the thing is, never, ever, like, you can say a few things about officiating and refereeing, but if you're looking for a call to win a game, we had people on our show before, when you leave it in an official's hands, you weren't going to win that fucking game. Like, it's not the official's fault that it was a 3-point game or a 4-point game at that point. You guys were missing passes. The referee didn't drop a pass. The referee didn't have an offside. The referee didn't do this, that, and the other thing. If you leave in the referee's hands, you were fucked to begin with.
Well, and this isn't the referee's hand. This is a self-inflicted wound. If Kadarius Toney is 1 foot back, then the Chiefs win that game. That's it. Like, there was no contact. There was no.
Well, and that's what I'm getting at.
Right. Like, this is they took it away from us. No, you took it away from yourself. And the real travesty in all this thing is, regardless of the fact that the Chiefs lost that game, that was one of the most brilliant fucking plays I've seen on an NFL field since the Mile High Miracle. It was awesome. I don't know if they drew that up, but with Kelsey throwing that pass like 15, 20 yards.
Mahomes did say, he said, I hope that's still that, because it was such a great play. I still hope it's in Travis Kelsey's Hall of Fame video or montage where they're going to.
Well, maybe there, but it's not going to go in NFL's films with like Steve Sable, R.I.P., one of the greatest.
It's
voiceovers ever.
what was kind of like you talk about the Music City Miracle, like it was actually because Frank Wycheck, who threw that ball across the field, he passed away yesterday, so it's kind of a throwback, like literally a throwback to that throwback. Yeah, interesting, but yeah, it was Mahomes. They got to start winning games. Like they got to start winning games.
And these are the tools in your toolbox. Yeah, fucking carve your statue. Like that's it. Like, we don't have the ultra fine sandpaper. We don't have the fucking drill bits. We don't have diamond tips. Like, here, fuck, you're good. Do it old school, buddy.
There were some dog games yesterday. One that was a dog to be. It was a dog the whole thing, but there was one that was the Jets and the Texans. No score after the first or whatever it was. It was terrible, absolutely terrible. And then the MILF hunter there himself, Zach Wilson, he started
off
when he had 30 points in the second half, throwing bombs and kissing moms a whole bit, and he was good. Like, he was really good yesterday, and now let's be a podcast fucking conspiracy theory look ahead thing. Let's just say if the Jets beat Miami next week, Miami's a very good football team. Let's say if Zach Wilson finds a way for the Jets to win next week, and then the week after, I don't know who they play 2 weeks from now, but let's say that Aaron Rodgers is raring to go. Do you put Rodgers in, or do you stick with Zach Wilson?
If Zach Wilson is on a 3-game heater, you keep him in. You got to. Because it's not only that it's a 3-game heater, they're a couple games back, right? There's not only if
they wouldn't have went with Zach Boyle on the ass, they might be in a playoff spot right now.
Wow, that's not true though either, because Zach Wilson he lost that job. Like, he was putrid, and it's not just a matter of being 2 games back. It's the 7 teams you got to jump.
Yeah,
I want to. Yeah, so tap the brakes on that. Like in the division, it's all wild card, because division, they're not catching Buffalo. Well, they might catch Buffalo. They're only 2 games back of Buffalo, but they're not catching Miami. And there's a lot of, I want to say there's 6 or 7 teams at 7-6.
Well, that's what the NFL wants, right? Just
and there's too bad we don't have the CFB here, right? Because then you can fucking take the Steelers and Browns out of there, and then put and the Colts, and then maybe put in the Broncos, Chiefs, and Bills, and then the surging Jets might be a nice play on the ass end.
Yeah, I was thinking about that Zach Wilson thing today, and I kind of started to laugh to myself. I was thinking about that fucking Keanu Reeves movie, The Replacements, there when they ended the strike there. Remember that? And then Keanu Reeves got left out of the whole thing, and then they brought him out at a halftime, and Zach Wilson. It just kind of made me laugh. It's like, because you have to, like, if Rodgers is ready to go, he's on the sidelines. He's like, you're paying me $50 million. You probably should put me in. No, like, it's just one of those things.
But if you're on a streak, you don't fuck with the streak.
No, I'm with you 100%. But will they? No.
Well, and this is just now. Just because he can take reps in practice doesn't mean he's game ready, right?
It's still a week. It's still 2 weeks away. Wilson's it's the starter next week. So I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I'm just conspiracy.
I think it would be absolutely asinine.
But that's what the Jets do, though. They're asinine.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like, it's not like we're talking about a franchise with a long history of sane decisions
of good decisions.
yeah,
put him in. He hasn't played 7 weeks or 14 weeks. No, but he's ready.
He hasn't walked without a limp in fucking 8 weeks, right? Like, so.
No, it's quite funny. Big win. Baltimore had a big win yesterday. I watched that game quite intently, actually. Overtime against the Rams, whatever, but still a win. A win's a win. That team's really good. Like that Baltimore team is really good, and they find ways to win. And when you get to the this was a crazy stat that I read today. Like, we're not a stats podcast by any means, but Lamar Jackson is 19-1 versus the NFC in his career.
That's okay.
That's not bad. So you get to the Super Bowl game. That's not a bad thing to have on your side.
Oh, and I also mentioned that when Baltimore gets to the big game, they win. And so and that's why a couple weeks ago or whatever, they've been the horse that I've been riding here for a little bit. This weekend too, on account of being in Montana, I was able to watch the first quarter of the early games, and then we drove home, and then I watched the last half of the Denver game, and then all my watching happened in the after game show. And on that NFL Network, get some better guys running your fucking highlight reels. These guys were terrible. They were so bad I didn't even fucking take their names on the NFL Network.
Yeah, it's not very good. NFL Network, MLB Network, they're pretty bare minimum. It is.
Oh,
NHL Network, same. Like, it's weird that they put their name behind that. It is odd. It is strange. Yeah, it is strange.
Okay, but sorry, that's a side, Dave. I think, but like the other game that caught my eye, and maybe you watched this, Lloyd Christmas and his Vegas Raiders.
Oh my!
How bad was that game to watch? Did you?
We went over to Browns for just for a little bite to eat yesterday afternoon. About what time those were on, and just like I said, can you put an NFL just something? There was the Oilers game was on, so that was on one TV. I said, "Can you put an NFL game?" Yeah, they hit the button. I said, "Okay, what?" Because I just wanted to see the ticker. Like, I didn't care. It's like, there's no score in the fourth quarter here. That's bad. that goes to show that there is a lack of quality quarterbacks in the National Football League. Because that was the only 3-0 indoor game in NFL history. It's not like they were trugging through the mud or the snow or anything else. They're in the fucking desert of Las Vegas inside.
Air conditioned comfort.
Whatever you need, it's here. 3 points on a fucking interception field goal late in the game. Oh,
how bad are those teams? Like, so that's not a defensive struggle, right?
No, that's just bad teams.
Yeah. It's awful. Like that.
Because that kid from Minnesota, didn't he start the season with Arizona?
That's that Lou Dobbs, something like that. Josh Dobbs.
Yeah. We won't know his name this time next year.
No, he's going to be in the league. He's the much desired backup that we've talked about. Like, so he's going to be your new Teddy Bridgewater kind of thing.
He's a backup next week. There's no getting around that. Because he got yanked in the third quarter, I think it was. He passed he had 3 interceptions, I think it was. Holy fuck.
Fuck.
They were showing the stat lines. I was like, what the fuck? Because that's 2 dog games in 2 weeks. Because there was a 6-3 and then a 3-0.
Well, that was the Pats Chargers game.
Oh,
right?
And nobody likes that. Like anybody who says
rainy, yeah.
Like anybody who says they like that defensive struggle, smash mouth football, they're full of shit. That's not entertaining. When there are stops, it's entertaining. But those games are not entertaining. The no fucking quarterback league, NFL.
Yeah. Because that's just offenses like we fucking suck, so we're gonna run it every time. Like, so there's no chances for turnovers. There's no like taking shots downfield. There's none of that because they're so goddamn conservative because they know they suck so bad that they're not gonna do anything to turn the ball over. So now it's just like a fucking high school game.
Horrific.
So it's
like absolutely
brutal.
Horrific.
Yeah, it was just awful. But I laugh because I don't like Minnesota and I hate the Raiders. So
those 2 teams going nowhere quick. Yeah. It's one of those things. Let's who's really good? Really good. No, it's actually it's part of my frauds. You know who's really good? Dallas.
I knew you were gonna say the 1 stars. You love them. You're gonna get. You can't wait to get back up.
Okay, Dak Prescott. Okay, MVP candidates for me. I got Prescott. I got McCaffrey, and Big Cock Brock right now.
What about Hill and Tyreek Hill in Miami?
Yeah. He gets
gotta give
overshadowed
him
by his
some
other
credit.
guys. Right? He's really good.
Oh yeah, he's a difference maker for
Yeah.
sure.
No,
Right, he
that's.
turns a 10-yard in route into 70 yards
But
in a
it
blink of a
was that
fucking eye.
win by Dallas last night? Was that a situation where Philly's just not that good? They're overrated because they're we'll get to our three Fs. The frauds, favorites, and fuck that team. My frauds, other than me being the fraudulent fucking football fan that I pretend to be, and that fucking football pool I don't want to talk about anymore till this time next week. But my frauds right now, when they were put up against two teams who were good, they were shitty. The Philadelphia Eagles are fucking frauds. They got smoked 2 weeks in a row. Smoked.
I pointed out, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but I said I do not. I think the Detroit is not as good as their record, and so like I don't know if this is the second week in a row I've called Detroit a fraud, but they're a fraud because they got beat up by Green Bay, and that's one of the games that's in our pick'em pool that I picked. Like the Bears are a better, Bears are a better team than. Sorry, I said Green Bay. Yeah, the Bears manhandled them. Like Detroit wasn't even in that game. And you know that Dan Campbell, I think he's a hell of a coach, but you can only fucking when you get your guys ready to run through a wall for you, you know, pretty soon those walls are going to take a toll, and you can't run through every fucking wall. There's no layups for that team. Yeah, and that's the problem I think with that team.
Funny thing about the Bears, they're already talking about trading Fields in the offseason. They go and going somewhere else and moving on from him. So they're going to be shitty again next year with another rookie quarterback. But is that the right move? Like, okay, we're not going to be very good. It hasn't worked. What do we do?
The Bears are in a very nice position because they own Carolina's first round pick, right?
That's bad. They're not good.
It's guaranteed to be a top 3 pick. It's damn near guaranteed. So that's capital, right? Someone might trade you 2 first rounds if they think they want Caleb Williams or whoever the flavor of the fucking month is, right? So Chicago is in a position here. If they make the right decisions, they can go forward because Justin Fields is showing what he showed the last half of last year. Very capable and can be the everyday quarterback, but you know he's had struggles with the offensive line. Chicago has a chance to turn the fortunes of that franchise around, but you know since the days of old Jim McMahon, they made the wrong decision at every fucking corner.
Pretty much every single.
Except for Smoking Jay Cutler. I liked fucking Smoking Jay. He had
the
talent.
only thing wrong with him was just everything.
It was his demeanor, right?
His demeanor wasn't the best. Like, just he had a fucking smoking hot wife. I mean, he's an NFL quarterback, so he's making good dough in it. But just like, go hang yourself, man. Like, fucking, if life sucks that much, just fuck off.
He's aloof. He was aloof.
He's a different cat. There's no getting around that. Dave, so you said your fraudulent team. Who's your favorite? What do you got going on? Who's your favorite?
Well, I don't like what it's always it's been Baltimore and San Fran for a couple weeks now, and I have no reason to change that. Like those teams, they play, I think, if not next week, in 2 weeks, they play into the regular season here. That's going to be a ring-a-ding-dog dandy.
I changed. I'm not. My favorite was the Dallas Cowboys. I still think they're really good, but that San Francisco team, they just beat up on everybody. They just come in, we'll beat you. We'll beat you, and by a lot. Defense, offense, the whole thing. There's like, you know what? Fuck off. We're better than you. We're gonna win.
And I watched that
because McCaffrey didn't even score yesterday, and they still won by.
He scored the first run of the game. He went 75 yards on the first play of the game.
They manhandled that fucking that
Seattle team,
which is fraudulent. But like like, get out of here, just screw off. Yeah, no, they're.
I thought you were gonna call the 1 stars here. I thought you were gonna let them jump the.
No, we'll see. We'll see how that all plays out. But I think that I just think that McCaffrey will be the difference maker in comparison on that team. I think Prescott's a better quarterback than Purdy, because I think Purdy benefits from everything that goes on around him. But Purdy's going to get a payday, so that they better win this year. You know what I mean? Because he's going to be one of those guys.
Well, they still got 2 years with Purdy, because
but you know what I mean? It's one of those things that you better, like, when you're not paying a quarterback, win now. Win now, because you know what? When you got to pay your guy, you ain't winning. You ain't winning.
They got KC got theirs last year, but like the proof's in the pudding right now, and Buffalo's definitely on the wrong side of the slope as far as progressing or regressing. And one more thing though, like, well, Dak's getting his payday, but he's not making max bank because he signed his a while ago.
He gets franchised now, and like it's all the stuff and everything that's happened with him.
And is it just weird? Does Dak Prescott throw a football like he's digging a fucking ditch? He's just, there's nothing aesthetically pleasing about watching that guy throw a football. And I don't know if it's because I don't know if it's a 1-star thing or what.
And I'm not a Cowboys apologist by any means, but I just think that they're on this problem. They're like, no, I don't even think there's a fucking 1-star fucking sticker in the house here or anything. So I'm not a 1-star guy at all, but I think they got a chance. They got a really, really good chance to win this year. First time in a long time that you can actually say that they got a chance to do something, because they're going to win the division, because like the Giants stink, and the Eagles stink, and the Eagles are so fraudulent. So
the Commodores didn't lose this week.
Well, the Commodores aren't very good either. I mean,
the Commodores had a bye.
Yeah,
so they were able to.
The best way to not lose, don't play.
Yeah, that was that's the jinx of all jinx of the 14-20. That's not that bad a team, man.
Yeah, that was about 6 weeks ago, and I had to see it every time you fucking say the team's not that bad. Go back. We should go back in these episodes. I'll put them all together. I might be in first place by a lot. Oh, they're not that bad. They're not that bad. They're not that bad. Then I pick them the following week. They fucking lose every time. Anyways, who's your fuck that team for this week, David?
Well, I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna do a little bit of pod crime, and I'm sorry about this. And there's 2 guys. If you're listening, you don't know who I'm gonna say right now. But when you come out and lay a fucking egg after laying a fucking egg, so a double egg performance by the Philadelphia Eagles. Jesus fucking Christ. They got to be doing some navel gazing today, because, 2 weeks ago you were 10-1 and now you're 10-3, and you lost to the 2 teams you must beat for A, the number 1 seed, and B, to get to the Super Bowl.
And lost, got stomped.
Oh, fucking punched in the face. And you look at it, and they're not as good defensively as they were last year. But I'm most concerned about their offense if I was a Philly fan. I don't know, like they say Hurts is a little dinged up. Then fucking sit that fucker now, because now you've lost the number 1 seed. You're not going to get it. So honestly, sit him, put in whoever, and then and then fall to the 3 or 4 seed. Winning the conference isn't a big deal. Having Jalen Hurts 100% healthy and getting that race car ready to run is more important than anything else. If you guys even have a fucking sniff at getting back to the NFC Championship game, let alone winning the Super Bowl.
No, it's crazy to think like having 2 losses against, and they're 2 good teams they lost to, right? But they weren't competitive losses.
Yeah, but those are the 2 teams you got to beat to get to the Super Bowl.
And that's the big thing for me, is like when you lose, okay, you lose, whatever, it happens. But when you get fucking boot stomped like that, that's a bad look, because confidence goes, right. Like oh, Jesus Christ, and it's a big thing. So yeah, no, the Eagles, they look bad, and Aaron posted something on Twitter last night. He must have been 45 beer deep there, or whatever it was.
Well, I hope they kept all the loaded guns and pill bottles away from him last night.
Yeah, he was a little upset last night with that whole ordeal. But yeah, it's they didn't look good 2 weeks in a row, they didn't, right.
And then if they want to get to the Super Bowl, they got to beat both those teams on the road now.
But the thing is, it's and not that I'm going to say it's a but it's hard to beat somebody twice, right? So that's one thing you can look at and say, well, we can make some adjustments and then have things going on. Like it's not do or die, but
Yeah,
the
but
Eagles
no,
are pretty. They look pretty bad. They look bad.
Yeah, there was nothing. Actually, what was that in the third quarter when they strip sacked Dak and ran that one in? They had a chance there, but then there was no answer. Dallas just controlled them again, and then Dak Prescott putted that ball down as CD and whoever. Like fuck, it's like he shits his pants every time he throws the ball. Puts in so much fucking effort. I don't like his motion.
His mechanics.
No, his motion. He has such a wide, fat stance. I don't get it, but he's winning. He's putting together an argument to be an MVP.
My fuck that team is the Chicago Bears.
After a win.
Even after a win, I'm so fucking mad at them because 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, when my brother-in-law, he said that the Bears were going to win, and I just laughed it off. And then yesterday, they had another win yesterday, and I was like, okay, I should pick the Bears because you shouldn't pick Detroit this late in the season. And the Bears won again. And then next week, I know exactly what's going to happen. I don't even know who the Bears are playing. I'm going to pick the Bears to win, and they're going to fucking lose. So I'm a week ahead of time. Right now, I'm going to get it over with. Fuck the Chicago Bears. And just for my football pool alone is the only reason why I'm fucking the Bears, because I know I pick them next week and they're going to fucking lose by 106.
Do you have any idea who they're playing next week?
No.
Okay, but you're going for the reverse jinx. That's a bold move button. Yeah.
No, I just know that they're going to lose next week, and they fucking. I should have picked them twice, and my brother-in-law said pick them, and I didn't. No, I just know that I'm going to get fucked by the Chicago Bears, and they fucked me that 2 weeks ago, and they fucked me till yesterday, and they're going to fuck me next week. So fuck the Chicago Bears. There it is.
Is there going to be any of the Greek machine at your place come Christmas, like on a football watching day? I would like to almost come by when you and the
they are. They're going to make their way out. So.
Here, I'm trying to find out. Oh, Chicago. Oh, it's a good one. Next week, Sunday, on the early game, Chicago and Cleveland. That's a pick 'em right now. Chicago's with Joe Flacco was able to take off his depends to throw for 300 yards.
I heard like Flacco won yesterday, and he's not going to be active next week.
No,
that's what I heard.
I don't know.
Because I think Watson's back next week.
I honestly don't know, Brent. Like we'll have to.
I thought I read that.
I thought he, after Joe,
he had a big 300 plus yards yesterday.
That Delaware Blue Hen, he's not gonna. They're not gonna sit him after throwing for 300 and upsetting Texas. And that was an upset. Fuck. Well, I'll look it up. Tim.
It's the same situation with fucking Shane Falco and fucking replacements. We talked about twice now. Replacement made their appearance twice in the 1420 podcast just tonight. It's Falco. Yeah, Watson's coming in. Falco's out. Right, one of those deals. You watch.
Well, like I thought Flacco was in there because of three name was hurt. He's concussed. Why wouldn't they put Flacco in before the three name guy that won a game?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know Watson was done for the year. Yeah, I don't know either. Like, but
I don't follow the Browns that closely. I could have made that all up. But I read something about that they're putting Flacco back out to pasture.
Well, I don't know. And that's and then that's
when you get your news from fucking whatever the fuck I was reading today. Like you just never know.
Well, you were sitting on the shitter going through Twitter is what you were doing. And you just don't check all your sources.
I don't got time to sit in the shitter and Twitter.
Well, where do you shit then?
No, I shit, but I don't Twitter on the shitter.
Come on.
I don't have time.
You're lying.
I don't.
You never.
I do. I know. I haven't. Like, I'm getting the house ready to go and move and everything. I don't have time for that. Ain't no
Okay.
time for that. Anyways, 14. That's it for NFL this week. How are you, Broncos? Broncos, what's your confidence level out of 10 right now with your Denver Broncos?
I'm not going to make any bold predictions because, like I've said time and
Playoff
time again, I am a big fan of the believer of the jinx. I said it 3 weeks ago. If Denver beats Detroit on the road, they're going to make the playoffs.
Kiss of death is coming. I just know
and that happens next week. So if Broncos win on Sunday on the road, third week in a row on the road. Thank you very much, NFL schedule makers. But we're dealing with it. When I say we, I mean the Denver Broncos are dealing with it. If they beat Detroit in Detroit this coming Saturday, it's a rare Saturday game, then Denver makes the playoffs.
It's that time of year now because college football's done, and
yeah, and they don't compete with college or college or
there's
like
actually a broadcasting rights. There's a rule that they actually follow.
Yeah, I read an article about that not too long ago.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And now
it's in their antitrust thing and stuff like
that's
that.
Good,
yeah,
that's good.
It makes sense, and it makes sense. Oh, speaking of college football, my University of Montana Grizzlies.
I watched that game actually.
Yeah, I missed it because it was on Friday night. Yeah. I knew they were playing on the weekend, so I ended up watching North Dakota Villanova and South Dakota State. So Montana, the University of Montana will be home to North Dakota State this weekend in the FCS national semifinal game. So good luck, Grizz. Well, I guess that's going to happen on Thursday is where I can give my closer good luck. It's nice to see that program doing well. And
I watched that game. It was actually pretty entertaining.
Yeah. And then their first thing, I meant to point this out to Aaron a couple of weeks ago too. The Blue Hens, that was in the FCS, they have the little bracket. Their first win was against the Delaware Blue Hens, alma mater of Joe Take the Depends off Flacco.
Yeah, because it was the North Dakota State against South Dakota, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the red one. Yeah, the red field. How does South Dakota State afford a dome stadium?
Right. Well, it's probably seats 4,000, but I'm not being racist at all, but I like because at the end we were doing some things, whatever, before we went to the Christmas party there, and I said North Dakota State versus South Dakota. How long is before we're going to see a black person on television? It took a while. That was the whitest football game I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, not in the field, but
there was a few. Yeah, but it was a white football game. It was quite fun.
Did you see that any of that Villanova North Dakota State then game? Like it was blowing 1,000,000 miles an hour. Like it was. No. The stadium looked like it. I don't know how much it holds. Let's say if it held 10,000, there was 600 people there.
One of those.
It was windy. It was so windy. The flags were thing, and it was on the Fahrenheit scale, they said it was 20. And so 1,000,000 mile an hour wind with that kind of temperature. Everybody that was there was in a parka.
No, we've been quite fortunate here.
It looked just awful, miserable. Like I wouldn't have gone to that game. You definitely have to pay me to go to that.
No, I'm at an age now. Like even like a baseball game, like if it's raining, no, I'm not going. If I paid for tickets, I'm still like, and I flew. Like I'm good. I'll find a way to go, and I'll sit in a suite or something, or not a suite, but you know what I mean. Like I'll find somewhere to take it in. But yeah, I'm not. If the weather's adverse, I'm not going.
If it's cold, I'll go. I have the gear for cold, and I can be honestly, I can be comfortable for 6 hours outside.
If it's cold, I'll go by myself.
Yeah,
I don't want to go with everybody else because I got my old work shit. I'll get all dressed up. Fuck whatever. I will go by myself.
Yeah,
if it's cold. I'm not going with anybody else though, because I don't want to hear bitching for 2.5, 4, 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever. Book, it's cold. Book. I wish I would bring it. Yeah, you should wear better boots. I ain't going. If it's cold, I'm not going with anybody else. No way.
I hear you, but even like so, if it's cold and windy, I'm staying home.
I ain't going.
Fuck that. There's nothing worse than the wind. I can dress for cold. I can not dress for hot. But when it's cold and windy, it fucking sucks.
Yeah, no, it's fucking terrible. And then when
if anybody knows cold and windy, it's us Southern Albertans.
There it is. Anyways, the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, NFL Week 14 review brought to you by SeatGeek.com and SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com and get yourself $20 off your first purchase of your football